Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name at our new time slot. So welcome everybody to the new time slot. If you're listening now, we're really proud, very happy to be here during rush hour. This is how you say hora punta. So this is rush hour, whether you're going home or you're heading into the office. Get ready to learn some English and have a blast. And speaking of blast off with me because it's time for liftoff.
T-minus 10, 9,
Welcome,
8,
welcome.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I hope you guys had a
2,
great Easter
1,
break,
0.
and I hope you're ready to rock and roll.
Liftoff.
Here we go.
Liftoff. 30 minutes left.
Come on. Yes.
Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no. It's show with no name.
Come on.
On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show.
Let's go. Go. Welcome, folks. Welcome. It's great to be back. And as I said, hello to everybody who's tuning in for the first time. Because if this is your first time, well, I've got to say it's our first time, not doing the show. I've been doing the show for around 20 years now, I think. But this is the first time in prime time. That's right. The best time on the radio is rush hour, commuter hour, because that's when people are in their cars commuting to work. I think you say trasladarse, desplazarse. I've heard before. So welcome to the new commuter hour, rush hour show with no name. This is a variety show where I need you to participate. This is not your typical radio show. It's a radio show in an English class. So if we look at it like an English class, well, what do you have to do in your English class if you want to improve? Si queréis mejorar. Of course, you need to participate actively. And I'll tell you what, if you can't, if you've got Vaughn Radio on in the background, well, you can learn English all day, every day, passively, without even putting in much effort. So that's my point. A eso voy. Imagine if you put in a little extra effort. You are bound to improve. Destinado. And we're here to help you. Remember to download the Vaughn Radio app as well. And this way you can listen to all the amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, where we teach you English for fun and for free. All right, folks, are you ready for your first challenge of the day? This is a listening exercise. This is an exercise in taking dictation and so much more. You're going to hear every accent under the sun, and you're going to tell me what you heard in your best English. It's the Say What soundbite. Say what? That's right, amigos. Your Say What soundbite. We're going to hear, the good thing about this one, you're going to get some totally native English today. And remember, you're going to hear this audio clip. Today it's from a movie. Sometimes it'll be from a speech or an interview. But today it's coming from a movie. So you're going to get that totally native English that I think you need to know. The one that I like to teach you here on the show every day. As we call it, totally native English. Totally native. That's right. Also, if you want to practice your English, don't forget we've got our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night coming up. That is the 7th of April. So if you're listening to this live, it's tomorrow. If you're listening to this in the morning, then it's today. It's like Ebenezer Scrooge. You still have time. It's a great event. It's going to be hosted by Jules Linares, the host of the amazing program Let's Get Random. If you haven't heard it, you can catch it on the Vaughn Radio app. It's tremendous. She's a wonderful person, a great teacher, and you can come meet her and hang out with her and all of us at our upcoming Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. It's April 7th, the year 2026. Bueno, siempre digo el año, como se puede repetir el año que viene perfectamente. So it's the 7th of April. It's at 8. It kicks off at 8. So if you can, get there around 7:30, 7:45. It's a way to mingle. Do you know this word? To mingle. Mezclar, you say. You know, to chat with people. I got to say, every time I go to the Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, I'm amazed at how cool the people are. Because people I see month after month, and then there are people I meet for the first time, and everybody's so awesome. Hey, birds of a feather flock together. Dios los cría y ellos se juntan. Siempre decía eso al revés. Al revés. Decía, Dios los junta y ellos se crían. Oh, man. Another one I used to get, and people used to catch me. La gente me pillaba siempre. Decía, ¿me lo cuentas o me lo dices? Now, I know that's not how you say it. It's me lo dices o me lo cuentas. Right? So order is important. We would never watch a movie that's white and black, but we would watch a movie in black and white. You get what I'm saying? No one would ever say, pass me the pepper and salt. It's always salt and pepper. Right? But you need to know these it's not just knowing the words, it's knowing the order, knowing word pairs or word clusters. And well, it's all the fun part, I think, the part where you're exploring when you learn a language. So explore with us on all our different programs. If you want to really put your English to the test, we'll see you on the 7th of April at the Toast Tap Room in Malasaña. Again, a free event. And you know what I recommend? Go over right now, whatever social media platform you're on, X, Instagram, Facebook, go on over there now. Search for Grupo Vaughan or Grupo Vaughn, whatever you want to call us. The important thing is call us or send us a message and follow. And this way you'll not just know about these free events that we have, but you'll find out about special deals on courses. Right now, we've got the summer camps kicking off. Well, not right now, but if you're going to get involved, you got to plan in advance, because I've got to tell you something about the summer camps. And I don't know very much about the inner workings of the company, but I know usually those sell out really quickly. Because who doesn't want to give their kid an experience? Who doesn't want to give their kid an experience in English and with a trusted name like Vaughan? So again, if you're on social media, you can find that on all of our platforms. We'll have stuff on X, on Instagram, on YouTube. You have tons of videos and resources. And also, we've got a website. If you're not into social media, social media no es lo tuyo, it's not your cup of tea, well, don't worry. You can go to our website, grupovon.com. We've also got centers. Okay, so if you'd like to stop by, por favor, pásate en persona. We'd love to meet you. We're in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. And we'd love to meet you. As I just said, it would be a pleasure. In fact, introduce yourself as a Vaughn Radio listener. Hello, my name's Antonio. My name's Antonia. I'm a Vaughn Radio listener. And, I just wanted to stop by and check the place out. We've got materials. You can find out about courses. You can even get a free level test. So, hey, the choice is yours. We'll be right here waiting for you. Aquí estaremos esperándote. All right, now here's your Say What soundbite. As you know, you're going to hear this 4 times. This is the first listen. So, what I want you to do is listen carefully, and then I want you to give me your opinion based on what you heard. All right, everybody, listen. Here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
Whatever. I mean, like, we'll just hang out, shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we jam a little bit.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to groupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. This is our pop quiz. And as always, in our pop quiz, what we do is we take a look at, different materials that you can find in the Vaughan sphere, la Vaughan esfera. So sometimes we'll look at grammar-based books. Sometimes it's vocabulary. Sometimes they're listening exercises because they have to do with pronunciation and nuances, matices. But you'll always hear something different. And to make sure, as I said, that you are actively participating in your English class. In fact, if you're in your car, there's no better place, especially if you're alone. ¿Qué te está frenando de hablar en voz alta? Because again, I'm telling you, after 20 years experience, there's one thing that students lack, and it is the opportunity to speak. Yeah, you can go to English class 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week. But obviously, if you're in private classes, particulares, you'll speak more than if you're in a group class, right? But a group class has a different dynamic. So you've got to speak as much as you possibly can. Use every opportunity because, as I always say, this can be an exercise. Vaughan Radio, listening to Vaughan Radio can be a hobby, obviously, but it can be a listening exercise or a listening and speaking. So my question for you is, do you want to just work on your listening? Or do you want to work on speaking too? I know the answer. So whenever you can in the show, especially when you hear something, say, ¿Cómo lo ha dicho? Espera, voy a ver si puedo duplicar ese sonido. Because in the end, that's what it's all about. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and it's not about grammar. It's not about phrasal verbs. She doesn't know what any of those things are. What she does know is, if I want to do this, if I want to express this period of time, I'm going to say it like this. If someone asks this, I can either answer this or this or this. So it's about parroting. to parrot. Parrot es un loro. So el verbo to parrot, pues es repetir. Repetir lo más parecido que puedes repetirlo. All right. And that also depends. That's another thing. After 20 years, I have students where their ears are not fine-tuned. Maybe their sense of smell or their sense of touch, but their ear is not fine-tuned. And that's okay. We're not all musical. You got to do the best you can. When you hear something and you say, espera, warm, ¿qué? Por ejemplo, warm, calentito, war, es como war, guerra. War, worm. And then the second one is worm, which is gusano. Worm. Y eso es como decir were. Where were you? Worm. Same sound. Pero a veces lo que hay que hacer es primero decirlo y luego asociarlo. Decir, pues yo sé decir were, pues tengo que pensar were con worm, right? And war with, what was the other one I said? Warm, calentito, right? Because those are two words, and I get it. Mira si lo entiendo. Las veces dice, ¿cómo que warm? Like, ¿y ahora qué hago con eso? Well, yeah, that's those matices, those nuances, es la palabra. De hecho, usamos una palabra francesa that I'm talking about. Those are the ones that you should be working on. How we put our words together. I watched it. No es I watched it, porque es raro poner una pausa. ¿Qué hacemos? Como watched, suena con una T, termina con una T, unimos esa T al it. I watched it. I talked to her. Nos comemos la H. So, again, this is the thing that's going to help you the most if you get frustrated with, pero ¿cómo que eso se pronuncia así? Just remember this. One thing is what's written on the page. This is in English. In Spanish, this is why it's frustrating, because what's written is what's said. But in English, what's written is not. More often than not, it's not what comes out of your mouth. But as soon as we accept that, lo acogemos, decimos, bueno, es lo que tiene, I think the easier it gets. All right, guys? So after the Easter break, hey, you know me, I like to give you a pep talk. I feel like a teacher is here not just to teach you vocabulary. You can get that on ChatGPT. But to inspire you, to cheer you on, no, animarte. The good teachers are the ones who are like, come on, give it to me again. I know you can say it better than that. And a lot of my students, when, I'm insisting on the pronunciation, I'm like, it's not itis, it's not itis. It's never itis, right? And when the students look at me like, oh, man, I'm like, hey, do you know why I'm insisting? Because I know you can say it perfectly. I've heard you say it perfectly. So let's work on saying things perfectly. That doesn't exist, but saying it the closest we can to the way we heard it. And that'll be different, obviously, on this program than it would be on Jules Linata's program, because we speak quite differently. But that's the beauty of it. Ahí está la belleza, ¿no? En diferentes no solo acentos, pero perspectivas, different outlooks in life. So, folks, just some tips, a little pep talk. Como he dicho, la palabra pep talk es una charla motivadora. And the best way to remember that one is Pep Guardiola loves to give pep talks. Hombre, tiene todo el sentido del mundo y mira, así nos acordamos de la palabra, because the power of association is huge. I still remember things from second grade because I associated them. So, amigos, just a few tips. And now, without any further ado, sin más, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite I already gave you the Say What soundbite. We're looking at our pop quiz. How can I forget? All right, well, today we're going to be taking a look at some phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs in inglés que deberías conocer. You can pick it up at Vaughn Tienda for $8.35. Yeah, that is cheap as chips. Está tirado. So listen carefully, and I'll have a couple questions for you afterwards.
To turn into.
Convertirse en. Transformarse en. ¡Ayuda! Una bruja me ha convertido en tritón.
Help! A witch has turned me into a newt.
Clark Kent se transforma en Superman.
Clark Kent turns into Superman.
¿En quién se transforma Bruce Wayne?
Who does Bruce Wayne turn into?
Esto se está convirtiendo en una pesadilla.
This is turning into a nightmare.
El libro se adaptó al cine.
The book was turned into a movie.
La casa de Elvis se transformó en un museo.
Elvis's house was turned into a museum.
Ella se está convirtiendo en una atleta de primera.
She's turning into a top-class athlete.
El patito feo se transformó en un precioso cisne.
The ugly duckling turned into a beautiful swan.
El príncipe se transformó en una rana.
The prince turned into a frog.
Voy a transformar la habitación libre en una oficina.
I'm going to turn the spare bedroom into an office.
Out with the old. Sarah had lived in the same friendly working-class neighborhood all her life, but it was slowly turning into an upscale area. The old hospital had been turned into luxury apartments, and the local public swimming pool had been turned into a members-only club. A lot of the small clothing stores were turning into boutiques, and the local cafe had turned into a gourmet restaurant. Sarah didn't mind all the changes, but hoped she wouldn't turn into too much of a yuppie.
Autoridades están investigando sus finanzas, de ella.
The authorities are looking into her finances.
Le pediré a mi amigo que te lo examine.
I'll ask my friend to look into it for you.
Él está investigando la historia de su familia.
He's looking into his family's history.
El gobierno está investigando el asunto.
The government is looking into the issue.
¿Hemos examinado todas las posibilidades?
Have we looked into all the possibilities?
Él contrató a un detective para investigarlo.
He hired an investigator to look into it.
El periodista quería investigar la historia más a fondo.
The journalist wanted to look into the story further.
Los científicos están buscando una cura para la calvicie.
Scientists are looking into a cure for baldness.
Ella contrató a un abogado para que investigara su caso.
She hired a lawyer to look into her case.
Están investigando un posible avistamiento de un ovni.
They are looking into a possible UFO sighting.
Looking for trouble. After the authorities had looked into the mayor's bank accounts, he was arrested and put in prison while the police looked into several of his businesses. First, they looked into a restaurant that apparently had not served a meal in over a decade. Then they looked into a car dealership that only had one car for sale. Finally, they tried to look into a charity organization which the mayor donated to, but soon discovered that the address they had didn't really exist. The police told the mayor it was time to look into the possibility of hiring a lawyer. To move in.
Mudarse, instalarse. Decidieron esperar antes de irse a vivir juntos.
They decided to wait before moving in together.
Él se mudó a principios de mes.
He moved in at the beginning of the month.
Sus padres no la dejarían irse a vivir con él.
Her parents wouldn't let her move in with him.
Si él se instala aquí, yo me voy.
If he moves in, I'm moving out.
¿Cuándo vas a instalarte?
When are you going to move in?
Tienes que firmar este contrato antes de mudarte.
You need to sign this contract before you move in.
Nadie quiere mudarse a una casa encantada.
No one wants to move into a haunted house.
Si me mudo, quiero tener la habitación más grande.
If I move in, I want to have the biggest bedroom.
Él descubrió que ella se había ido a vivir con otro hombre.
He discovered she had moved in with another man.
Múdate aquí conmigo. Podemos compartir el alquiler.
Move in here. We could split the rent.
All right, folks. Wow, really good vocabulary. Vocabulary you need to know. In fact, the title says it all. Phrasal verbs en inglés que deberías conocer. All right, well, I hope you were taking notes, or at least mental notes, because I'm going to ask you a couple questions based on that little audio clip. Plus, we are going to check out our news report, We've got our Say What soundbite, homophones, double trouble, name that lyric, name that movie, famous birthdays, and so much more up ahead. So, if I were you, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, Show with No Namers, Vaughn Radio listeners, English explorers. It's a pleasure to be here with you on the Show with No Name. Don't forget, you can listen to all the other amazing programs. You've got the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. You've got No Excuses with Fitz. Speak English with Ruby. The Lunchtime Show, also with Rob Grams. You've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares, the host of our upcoming trivia night. You've also got Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. The Salad with Dave Boys. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. And you can tune into all these programs simply by downloading the free Vaughn Radio app. Go to your smartphone and punch in Vaughn Radio. Punch in, type in. Significa mete, ¿no? Pero escribiendo. Speaking of phrasal verbs, let's see which ones I want from you. See if you can use these in a sentence. The first one, convertirse en. Te puedo dar un ejemplo yo. La nieve se convertirá, no sé si lo he dicho bien, la conjugación, en agua al final de la primavera. For example, right? Or you can always go back to the classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, hey, I'll ask you. Now, there's one thing I'm going to warn you, though. We don't use it with birthdays, okay? And I'll explain it later when we take a look at it. But we do not do it with birthdays. Okay, no se convertirá en 49 el año que viene. So this is convertirse en. That is the first one. If you can use it in context, even better. The second one is investigar. Okay? If you think about it in English, it's mirar profundamente, en profundidad. Okay? And the last one, this is an idiomatic expression and a phrasal verb. But again, does that matter? The important thing is, do you know it or not? And can you use it in a real context? And that one is, and I know it in Spanish, me lo han dicho muchas veces, te la estás buscando, ¿eh? Cuidadito, ojo, right? Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I've been hearing this one in English and in Spanish. So I guess siempre la estoy buscando, I guess. Hey, if you hear it a lot, there's a reason, right? So there it is, folks. Those are three different things. I want to see if you know them in today's pop quiz. The first one, again, is convertirse en. Can you use it in context? Remember, even if you're participating here in the group, make sure you say it aloud too. That's the final touch, no ese toque final ahí. The second one is investigar. And the third one is te la estás buscando, ¿no? Estás buscando problemas. That's your pop quiz for today. I'm also going to give you our Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you now for the second time, and we'll see if you guys can make some sense of it. Here goes.
Whatever. I mean, like, we'll just hang out, you know, shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we jam a little bit.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit, This Book is the Milk, or This Book is the Milk 2. They are all part of a trilogy written by Damian Moya, a.k.a. Barrancas, on The Hormiguero Show, and, a ver si sabéis decir, un servidor. ¿Cómo se dice un servidor? Yours truly. That's right. Yours truly. All right. Well, let's take a look at our pop quiz. I see we've got a lot of people participating, which is awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating, for, being here and doing all the work. But what's the key? We're having fun. So, you're learning English, you're having fun. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, because we all need a hobby. And if it's a positive hobby, like working out, like Born to Iron Man, he does triathlons. Okay, so these are good hobbies. These are hobbies that are only going to benefit you and enrich you. Enriquecer, you say the same thing, right? Enrich. So kudos to you. Siempre lo digo. Os admiro. I admire you guys. I mean, I'm learning Spanish still after 48 years. But you guys, man, you put in the time, you put in the effort, and you don't get anything in life without time or effort, right? Everything has its price. And if you want anything, yeah, you might even need money too. But you need time and effort. You cannot take that out of the equation. But if you manage to have fun at the same time, pasarlo bien, to have a blast, as we say, well, you figured out the secret. Habéis averiguado el secreto. You cracked the code, right? All right, so let's take a look at this book, Phrasal Verbs in Inglés que deberías conocer. As I said, you can pick it up at Von Tienda. It's available for €8.35. sense. That's dirt cheap. And this way you can learn all of the 400 phrasal verbs. Now, it sounds like a lot, but remember this. If you hear them in context, it makes sense, right? Here, let me give you one over here. Okay. Por ejemplo, uno que hemos visto aquí. Se trasladó. He moved out last week. He just moved into a new apartment. No queda claro. He moved out. He moved in. Now, no todos tienen esa lógica, pero digo, el contexto te da muchísimo. So pay attention, be present, be in the moment, and phrasal verbs won't be such a mystery because usually things make sense based on the context, the conversation. The word I use all the time, make up your mind. We're going to make up the class next week if we call it off. Recuperar. De hecho, el que creo que se usa menos es el maquíate, porque eso sería do your makeup, not make yourself up. Pero si yo te digo you're making it up, te digo que te lo estás inventando. Otra vez, el contexto es clave. ¿Qué es la frase que se dijo antes y después? Porque eso te va a situar. Oh my God, make up. 7 significados. Oh my God, it's overwhelming. Es abrumador. Lo sé, pero en contexto no. No tanto. So not just in your English, be present, be in the moment, and try and really understand what the person is saying. Sometimes it'll be easier, sometimes it'll be harder. Sometimes you've got the background noise of life. You got zzz, sirens. I know every time I talk to my friends in New York, I'm like, what is going on over there? And I forgot what it was like to have constant noise in the background. All right, so a couple things I wanted to highlight before we take a look at your answers. This is further versus farther. Now, for all intents and purposes, a todos los efectos, I believe you say, for all intents and purposes, native speakers interchange these, okay? So they're totally interchangeable. However, technically speaking, okay, if we're going to be grammar purists, further means más adelante, pero en el tiempo, ¿no? En el sentido poético, right? And farther, porque tiene la palabra far, más lejos en kilómetros, en distancia. Otra vez, we say them interchangeably. I catch myself all the time. I don't even remember learning that rule. But if you really want to split them up, that would be the difference. Now, the important thing for me is not just that you know the difference, but that you know how to pronounce them. So, ¿cómo se dice la de la U? No voy a hablar de esto más. I'm not going to talk about this any further. Es una sound. Okay, eso es la U. I'm not going to talk about this any further. We're done. Period. Punto. Okay, and the other one, he lives farther than me. Farther, más lejos en distancia. We looked at to go bald. Se está volviendo calvo, right? Because bald, you can say he's balding or he's going bald. All right. Ahora, con deaf, no. Solo se puede decir he's going deaf. Está perdiendo. No oye bien, no, vamos a traducirlo así. He's going deaf, he's going blind. De hecho, any Korn fans? I can see, I'm going blind. I can see, I'm going blind. You get the irony there? ¿Pilláis la ironía? I can see, I'm going blind. Es un temazo, by the way. But a lot of times you'll see that go, cuando alguien se está volviendo así. He's going bald, he's going deaf. You're going blind. Y nosotros decimos, he's as blind as a bat. In my case, queréis reíros. I'm going bald, I'm going deaf, and I'm going blind. Help. Another one we looked at in this audio, UFO sighting. How did you say vistamiento? Es que quería apuntar la palabra, or at least, porque no lo había escuchado en español. Sighting. Vamos a ver en inglés, observación. Yeah, una observa. I think they used a different one there. Well, they used it in English here in the audio with a UFO sighting, right? UFO is ovni, not UFO. We say UFO. And it stands for unidentified flying object. And a sighting, pues es que lo ves, right? A UFO sighting. It'll happen often in New York. You'll have a celebrity sighting, right? That means you'll see a celebrity walking down the street or sitting at the corner cafe. Another word I wanted to bring up, because Americans and British people cannot agree on this one, is mayor. Now, Americans, we say, who's the mayor? ¿Quién es el alcalde? Do you know how the British say it? Who's the mayor? Mayor. Yeah, so for us, it's two syllables. En español es la palabra mayor, ¿no? Si lo ves escrito, es mayor. So he's the mayor of New York City. Mayor, alcalde. The British pronounce it more like mare. Mare, yegua. A female horse, M-A-R-E, como que viene en la palabra nightmare. De hecho, ¿sabías eso? La palabra pesadilla es yegua de noche. Es dos palabras, noche y yegua. But that's how they say, who's the mayor? Who's the mayor? So, hey, it's up to you. I always tell my students, whatever accent you like the best, try and imitate it. You don't have to sound, again, it's not about accent here either. Because what is a perfect accent? What is the idea is to be understood and, well, to try and sound as close as you can to a native speaker of your choice. I don't live in Guatemala. I don't live in Argentina. So I'm not imitating them. I'm imitating you, madrileños, or, Spanish people in general. Now, I know there are many dialects and accents all over, but my Spanish now that I'm absorbing and putting into practice is Castilian. Now, the good thing about Vaughan Radio, you've got Australia, you've got Scotland, you've got Northern England, you've got Ireland. I mean, you've got a lot of different accents here, so that's good because it'll train your ear. But when it comes time to speaking, you kind of have to decide, well, do I want to sound more like I'm Andaluz, or do I want to sound more like I'm from Madrid, or maybe Valladolid or Burgos? That's something you have to know, right? Which one sounds the best to you? Because obviously there are so many English accents just in London, so, sin salir de Londres, So that's an interesting thing there. All right, and we already looked at the word move. I said to move in, es lógico. When did you move in? Well, we moved in last month. When are you moving out? We're going to move out in 2 years. To move away. Well, away is por ahí, lejos, right? He moved away. To move on, that means seguir adelante, pero en una situación. Recuperarte, superarlo, right? He was, after the breakup, he was really hurt at first. Estaba dolorido. Dolido? I always get that one mixed up. But now it seems like he has moved on, right? So to move away, to move, it makes sense. Not all phrasal verbs do, but when it makes sense, well, let's celebrate that. All right, so the first phrasal verb we were looking at is turn into. Turn into. Fijaos como lo digo junto. He turned into, ¿qué hago con la D? Lo paso al into. Escucha. He turned into a snake. Turned into. Otra vez. No es lo que pone, pero es como suena. He turned into a snake. Now, el error que decías, mucha gente dice, I turned into 38. No, cumplir es solo turn. O sea, si hablamos de años, prescindimos del into, right? He turned 40 last week. Okay? So, but you could use it, he turns into an animal when he doesn't eat. No, se convierte en animal cuando no le des de comer, when he's hungry. Okay, so turn into, si lo ponemos en pasado, turned into, ¿no? Porque ya unimos. Pero en todo caso, unimos ese vocal, ¿no? Del into con el consonante de la palabra que hay delante. So to turn into, he turned into a monster. He turned into a monster. Great job, everybody who got that. To look into. Estamos con el into aquí a tope, ¿eh? I'll look into it. I'll look into it. Fijaos, otra vez la K, por facilidad a la hora de hablarlo, no es consciente, ¿eh? Lo ponemos así. I'll look into it. I'll look I'll look into it. Will you look into it for me? Yeah, I'll look into it. Lo investigaré. I'll look into it. Now you could say I'll research it. Less natural. No, es menos natural en ese caso. I'll investigate it. Then I'm going to say, okay, Sergeant. Muy bien, Sargento. You know, I'm thinking like police. So yeah, the words have, even though they all mean the same thing, they have kind of different feelings behind them, right? They're investigating the case right now. Police have responded. Okay, the detectives are investigating it. Research, I think of a student or a doctor. You know, we're researching, we're finding more information about something, studying more, you know. Investigate is more, it sounds like there's a crime. De hecho, por ahí, vosotros decís I más D, right? Investigación y desarrollo, you say, right? We say R&D, research and development, right? So that research es más estudiar, investigate es más llegar al fondo de lo que ha pasado. And to look into is, pues voy a mirar más en profundidad. I think that one kind of works for both, right? Well, he's got a big exam coming, so he's looking into, you know, the subject matter. Eso es estudiar, repasar. But also, police are looking into it. There was a robbery in Miami, and police are looking into it. Y quedándonos con el looking, we've also got our last one, which is you're looking for trouble. Okay? Hey, man, you are looking, fíjate que me como la G, looking for. Yo no digo looking for, de hecho no me sale. Es que no me sale así. So you're allowed to take these shortcuts, especially if native speakers do, right? Say, you know, it's just like, have you ever heard anybody say the word cuñado? I have never, ever heard anybody say cuñado in my life. And I've been coming to Spain. I've been living here for over 20 years. I've been coming since I was an 18-month-old baby. And I've never heard anybody say cuñado. It's always cuñado, right or wrong. Right, so these are these little tricks I'm teaching you. Like, sí, está ahí la T, pero... O en este caso la G, pero... Tampoco le des más importancia a lo que tiene que tener. De hecho, lo raro sería decir, he's looking into it. What? Why so much emphasis on that? Gee, it's really something that is... we can get rid of it. Podemos prescindir de ello. So police are looking into it. Looking into it. Es todo, esto se llama linking, ¿no? De cómo conectamos los sonidos. Porque diría palabras, pero al final robamos un consonante de una palabra para meterlo con la próxima. ¿Por qué? Porque suena mejor así, o es más fácil de decir a la hora de la respiración. Again, there's a logical explanation behind it, but most native speakers won't say, well, I leave out the G because it's difficult to say. No, it's just because my mom said it that way. As I said, in the end, we're all just parroting. So you're looking for trouble, you can say. Another way we can say it too is you're asking for it. And I see some of you put that as well. Hey, man, you are asking for it. Lo estás pidiendo, right? Lo estás buscando. You're looking for trouble or you're asking for it. ¿Y qué ha pasado ahí? En ambos casos, la G, prescindo de ello. And did I say for? Escucha. You're looking for trouble. Did I really say for? F-O-R? Because yo no oí for. Eso es lo que pone, otra vez, no es lo que sale de mi boca. You're looking for, como Fernando, pero no es tan You're looking for trouble. You're asking for it. Again, did I say for? So these little tricks that I want you to pay attention because these little nuances, these little, pronunciation hacks, truquitos de la pronunciación, this insight, conocimiento de cómo juntamos las cosas naturalmente, sin pensarlo, is going to help you sound better. And if you sound better, well, I know many people who were up for a job and they had a higher level than the person who was hired. Me explico. O sea, tenía más nivel de inglés que la persona que contrataron. And you know what it was? It was because the other person was not nervous. Even though they might have known less, they really sounded good. They looked confident. And that's something I always tell you guys. You might make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm sitting here talking for 2 hours And sometimes I'm like, excuse me, no, not week, no, month. It's normal. It's fine. It's okay. Welcome the mistakes. Welcome them. Be aware of them, consciente de ellos, and then work on them. And that's what we do here on the show. And what I try and do really is warn you. Decirte, mira, el for este no es for, es fur. Y no es I watched it, porque primero no es una D, aunque es una D, es t, right? Como talk, talked, walked, watched. Con los verbos regulares hay tres columnas de pronunciación. Regulares, okay, con ed. So you've got the T, walked, you've got agreed, and then you've got the did it, como dice mi hija. I needed it. Eso es cuando sí que se pronuncia la E. En los primeros dos, no. Es la raíz más ese sonido. So talk, every day I talk. Yesterday, a ver si pillas este matiz porque es la clave. Every day I talk. Yesterday I talked. Eso es el pasado. No es talked, es talked. Y sé que es bastante difícil esa palabra porque tiene la L muda. It's not talked, it's talked. He talked. Y anda, si son palabras que usamos mucho. Talk, walk, no talk, walk, sino talk. Y en pasado es la raíz. Talk, walk, right? I know. But if you can get that under control and practice that, your English is going to sound so much better and your confidence is going to go up. And I think that's what it's all about. Folks, I can't believe it, but we've got to take a quick commercial break here. We are flying through today's show. I hope you're learning and laughing with us. We've got more challenges up ahead in the second half of today's show. So stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is the second half of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio at our new time slot. Yeah, you say hueco, we say ranura, slot. Como el tragaperras, it's called a slot machine. So you can catch us at rush hour, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Also, 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. ¿Lo tengo correcto? I don't know. Now I'm second guessing here. Well, it's the first day. I don't remember exactly. But you can catch us every evening on your commute home. And every morning on your way into work, giving you English, energy, interaction. Hey, that's in your hands. I give you plenty of opportunities to interact with the program. Di esto, dilo otra vez, mete la T, talked, walked. That's when you gotta take charge and say, okay, me toca. Como cualquier clase, ¿no? Te lo explico, te toca. And this way, we're putting it into practice. We're using the language, not just, learning grammar. Okay, I explain grammar, but I try to make it more fun than let's learn the present perfect continuous. Well, I'd rather teach you the present perfect continuous using a song. I've been loving you. There you go. Ahí tienes. Justo digo, oye, a ver si ahora no se me ocurre. I've been loving you by Led Zeppelin. Ahí tienes. I've been más el gerundio. Right? If you can learn it from a song, even better. Right? El no me apetece. How do we say, hoy no me apetece hacer nada? Ya que estamos de lunes. Today I don't feel like doing anything. Thank you, Bruno Mars, not just for teaching us that expression, but that structure. Porque ahí Bruno Mars nos ha dado el to feel like más el gerundio. Esto es lo que quiero que saques de ahí, right? I feel like going swimming. Me apetece nadar. I don't feel like eating spinach. I feel like studying English. So ya ahí él te da lo que es la estructura. Y ya vosotros pues ya podéis poner el verbo que te apetezca, pero tiene que ir en la misma estructura. So to feel like más el gerundio. Today I don't feel like doing anything. No me apetece hacer nada. Well, I hope you guys feel like doing a section we call Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
Show with no name. That's right, amigos. It is homophones only on the show with no name. And here's where we look at those words that are really tricky, muy difíciles, like we looked at earlier. De hecho, vamos a ver si os acordáis. ¿Cómo se dice gusano, lombriz? Worm, worm. ¿Y calentito? Warm, warm. So, vamos a decir ambos juntos. It's a warm worm. Es una lombriz calentita. It's a warm worm. Again, I know it's tough, but this is how we learn how to pronounce those words, you know, by looking at them, looking at these differences. And if you can associate it or find other words that sound the same, which is something we do in this section too. Once we have our word, we're like, pues vamos a rimarlo, porque si ya sabes hacer ese sonido ahí, pues lo puedes hacer en otras palabras. Worm, germ, right? Derm, que tiene que ver con la piel. Dermatology, right? Y el otro warm, swarm, enjambre, I think you say. And so on and so forth. But the idea is not just learning these words, but learning the sounds, these little vowel sounds, que muchas veces lo que vemos aquí son estos sonidos vocales. Y en inglés hay 15. En español hay 5. See? That's where we run into a problem. Okay? So the first word, let's see if you're familiar with this word. It is a very British word. I'll say something, Americans don't use this word, but we are familiar with the word. We know the word quite well. And the word is, in Spanish, baño, servicio, aseo, cuarto de baño. So a toilet or a bathroom. A toilet or a bathroom. The British way of saying it, all right? And the second word, we'll see if you know the second word. The second word is kind of a legal word over here. And that one is en lugar de, en vez de, okay? Again, it's a very legal word, okay? Te dan esto en vez de o en lugar de esto. Okay, a cambio de esto. Oof. This is a tough word. I think they're both pretty tough today. If you've been to London, well, maybe you've heard the one that is baño. Okay, so the first word, what I want you to do is give me the two words to see if you, are familiar with them, and then tell me if these two words sound exactly the same or not. That without context, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. No podría distinguir entre ellos. So the first one, baño, servicio, aseo, cuarto de baño. And the second one, un término legal, que es en lugar de, en vez de. All right, there you go, my amigos. Those are your homophones. Let me also give you the Say What soundbite. This is the third listen of the Say What soundbite, and we'll see if you guys can figure it out. Everybody listen carefully.
Whatever. I mean, like, we'll just hang out, shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we jam a little bit.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. GrupoVaughn.com. That's our website. Remember, you can also follow us on social media. They're even on LinkedIn. I know they say LinkedIn here in Spain, but it's LinkedIn. You can find Vaughn. I know many of you who listen are in the professional realm, el mundo profesional. So that's a great place also, well, to make contacts over there. I don't know because I don't have LinkedIn, but I do know that everybody who is or considers themselves to be a professional is on LinkedIn. So you can find Vaughn on LinkedIn, also on all the different podcast platforms. If you don't have the Vaughn Radio app or you can't listen on a certain day, you can find all of our programs. They're on Apple Podcasts, iVox, Spotify, or as they say in Spain, el Spotify. I love that. El Spoti. All right. I see we've got a lot of students now who are participating in this tricky homophone section. All right. Well, the first word is Lou. Lou. It's written L-O-O. Okay. Again, this is very British. Now, the funny thing is, when I first heard this word, I thought they were saying Lou, como el nombre, L-O-U, like Louis Armstrong, right? The famous entertainer, Louis Armstrong. So Lou. So, but it's not Lou, el nombre, L-O-U. Aunque mira, ahí tenemos homófonos, otro, ¿no? Que suena igual. So L-O-O, que es baño en inglés británico, suena como L-O-U. So, let's say it together. Lou had to go to the loo. Ahí lo tienes. Lou, no, Luis, I guess would be the translation. Had to go, tuvo que ir al baño, a los servicios. He had to go to the loo. An expression I always say is, where's the queue for the loo? Queue, Americans say the line, la cola. We say the line. They say the queue. Where's the queue for the loo? I think it's the most British thing you could say. That and I'm going to watch the footy on the telly. You get it? I'm going to watch the footy on the telly. I'm going to watch football on the television. I'm going to watch footy on the telly. But first, where's the queue for the loo? I know Rob Graham's now. His ears are bleeding saying, that's not what we sound like, man. So, loo, el nombre, sí. Loo, baño, L-O-O. And the last one, the legal term, esto es rarísimo porque si lo vemos escrito es L-I-E-U. Lieu. Y se suele usar en la estructura in lieu of. Lo mismo que ado, right? Without further ado. Sin más, que hemos visto la palabra further. Pues esto es una que siempre lo vas a ver ahí con sus amiguitos in y of, en medio, en un sándwich. In lieu of the circumstances, right? We're going to give you $500,000 in lieu of the damage, por los daños, ¿no? A cambio de. So this is, again, a legal term, but yes, it sounds exactly the same as the name loo, and the British way of saying the bathroom, loo. So excellent job. Wow, guys, those are difficult words. And the funny part, in American English, another way to say el retrete, el baño, is the John. So they're both names, really. Si no lo ves escrito. Do you know if John is waiting for the Lou? No, Lou's waiting for the John. Me sorprende que no han hecho un sketch de comedia sobre eso, right? Because they're both names and is this the queue? Do you know if Lou is on the queue for the Lou? No, he's on the queue for he's on the line for the John. Whoa. And then they say we speak the same language. Well, I've got to say, excellent job in our homophone section. You guys knocked it out of the park. Lou, Lou, and Lou. We found 3 words that sound the same. All right, folks, we've got to move on, though, to another section. This is a section we started doing pretty recently, and it's where I scour the internet, busco por internet, to find all of the craziest reviews. But the best thing is they are real reviews.
First of all, what went through my mind is how stupid am I to actually volunteer for this?
Real reviews.
Real reviews found online.
Real reviews.
It was unbelievably painful.
Yeah, we've all read them, but now we're going to make sure we read them in English. And I've got to say something. I'm a big review reader. Yeah, I love to read reviews. And, well, like most people, you always start with the lowest, right? Because these all come from Google reviews. And what I do is I find whatever I want to talk about that day. So today we're going to be looking at a cigar lounge. Cigar is not cigarette. Cigarette is tabaco. Cigar is puro, right? De hecho, tenemos la expresión close, but no cigar, que significa, uy, casi. Oh, man. Either way, we do not promote smoking here on the show with No Name, okay? But as I said, in this section, what I like to do is look at all different reviews. This way, it gives us an excuse to talk about all kinds of vocabulary from, venues. Venues are sitios donde tienen eventos, ¿no? Like Palacio de Deportes, to, banks, to fast food chains. And this way we learn all kinds of vocabulary about all kinds of different fields, all kinds of different experiences. And as I always say, when people are pissed off, cuando la gente está cabreada, hablan del alma. They speak from the heart. So that's why I always look at these reviews that tend to be negative. Now, as always, you'll find some positive ones, but hey, everybody's a reviewer, right? Todo el mundo puede poner un comentario. The thing that I always do when I'm looking at reviews, like, for a restaurant or whatever, a hotel or something, I look for repeated reviews. Because if you see something once, that's called an opinion. But if you see 4, 5, 10 times, there's mildew on the wall, hay moho en la pared, guess what? That's true. Okay, so that's another thing. You got to be careful with reviews. All right, let's take a look. Again, we are going to a cigar lounge. So hold your breath. No respiréis muy profundo. La expresión don't hold your breath significa espera sentado, como eso nunca va a ocurrir, right? Alberto, are you going to give me $1 million? Don't hold your breath, como va a ser que no, nunca. Right? Well, I don't have it. I can't. So even if I had it, I'd probably have to use it myself. But we're going to a cigar lounge. Now, I've got to be honest, too. I've never been to one of these before. I've never been to a cigar lounge. I've never been a smoker. I mean, when I was in high school, I used to smoke cigarettes to think I was cool, but I never liked them. In fact, when I quit, I was like, okay, I'm glad. That was disgusting. Because it made me lightheaded and dizzy, ¿no? Me hacía me mareaba, right? So cigar lounges, I guess they're supposed to be upscale places. But again, I'd rather go to a place where you can't smoke, where smoking is not allowed. All right, let's see what they said about this New York City cigar lounge. The first review says, first time in New York City, this one spot, which was recommended to me. Spot es sitio, no es spot, sino spot, right? That's a good spot. Spot es una mancha, pero también es un lugar, okay? So this person got a recommendation. I walked in, ¿qué pasa con esa T? Walked in, se une al en, and no one greeted me. Y nadie me saludó. No one greeted me. Individuals there were very to themselves. Okay, te explico esta frase. So individuals, la gente que trabajaba ahí, los individuos there, ahí, were very to themselves. To be to yourself es, no eres muy social. Okay, estás a ti mismo. They were very estaban en plan sin hablar con los demás. They were very to themselves. He's very to himself. Significa que no es muy de mezclar, de hablar con los demás. Está en su mundillo. And this person says, it's not what I was used to. No estaba acostumbrado a eso. A nice setup, a setup es como lo tienen montado, ¿no? Lo que tienen el percal. It was a nice setup. I did purchase a few cigars. I did. Ahora, ¿por qué pone ahí el auxiliar? Si solo se usan auxiliares en negaciones y en preguntas. Porque aquí es cuando quieres dar énfasis en al final, sí que lo hice, right? So he did. Eso viene a decir, al final, I did purchase a few cigars. Compré algunos puros. Yet, a couple were dry. Algunos estaban secos. I don't think I'll be going back ever. And ever is in caps lock. Ever viene, vamos, en mayúscula. All right, another visit over here to this. Oh, no, it's the same review. Okay, I got the same one twice here. Well, either way, folks, here's the lesson. Don't smoke. As I said, it's good to have other hobbies, such as learning English. But we're going to move on now to our next section. It's a section we call the Spelling Bee, and I think it's one of the most challenging sections on our show.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, folks. Welcome to our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. As always, this is a part of the show where I spell some words for you. And this is basically because when I started teaching, I realized that people were really bad at spelling. You know, I would spell a word for someone and I would say A, ponían una I. And I would say E, ponían una A. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, whoa. So this is to make sure you guys work on spelling, taking dictation. If you ever have to, write down an email address or get a password or something like that, well, this could save your life. As always, round one, I fly through the words. On the second round, I will slow down. Let's see if you can keep up. Mantener el ritmo. The first word is BRIGHTON, comma, space, UNITED, space, KINGDOM. The second one is ABBA. The third one is 1974, space, EDITION. The fourth one is let me start again. The fourth one is EUROVISION, space, SONG, space, Contest. The fifth one is Waterloo. And the last one is Swedish. Now, I went so fast that even I made a mistake. Remember what I said before about making mistakes? Yeah, even native speakers, because sometimes your brain's working at a different speed than your mouth, right? That happens all the time. I've heard it even, in presidential speeches. As we say, to err is human, and especially if you're going fast, which in round one, I go really, really fast. Now, as you know, all the terms I just spelled, they all have something in common. They all tell a bigger story. So we'll see that story as well. Is everybody ready? I'm going to do round two. As you heard, we've got some years in there, some numbers. So do the best you can. Here we go. Round two of today's Spelling Bee. The first word is BRIGHTON, comma, space UNITED, space KINGDOM. The second one is ABBA. The third one, the year 1974, space EDITION. The fourth one is, see, I always make a mistake there. EU. It's a difficult one to do. So the last one is EUROVISION, space SONG, space CONTEST. The fifth one, WATERLOO. And the last one, SWEDISH. Folks, we are taking a quick commercial break. We'll come back, we'll check these words. Plus, we have many more challenges up ahead. We've got our Double Trouble. We've got our Say What soundbite. It'll be the fourth listen. We've got movies, famous birthdays, name that lyric, and much more up ahead. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. And I want you to say it with me. This is our favorite phrasal verb on this show. Significa no te muevas, quédate ahí quietito. Say it with me if you know it in 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. You folks are doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. You can learn English with us all day long on Vaughn Radio. Just download the free app and you can learn anywhere. If you listen to podcasts, real simple. Go to the search bar and punch in Vaughn Radio, or you can search for your favorite program, Show with No Name, Let's Get Random, The Pro Bow Show, No Excuses. And I've got to tell you something, our students, I've seen it time and time again, vez tras vez. They've got the highest level in all of Spain. Seriously. At least they sound the best. As I said, it's not always about having the highest level. It's about feeling comfortable at the level you're at and knowing you will make mistakes, but that's how you learn. Welcome them. Welcome those mistakes. They're blessings. Son bendiciones. Ah, no se dice así. Ah, ok, pues mira, por fin soy consciente de ello. And that's the wonderful thing. We live, we learn, and hopefully if we're doing it right, we get a little bit better every day. Not just at English, with whatever you're working on. And a big shout out to all of you who tune in from the gym. Sois mis héroes. Seriously, you're working on your body, you're working on your brain. It's awesome. Who said you can't kill two birds with one stone? Matar dos pájaros de un tiro, you say, right? To kill two birds with one stone is how we say it in English. Muy parecido. All right, are you guys ready for a challenge? I think you're ready for another challenge. A challenge where we look at words with many meanings. It's called Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It is Double Trouble here on the Show with No Name. And as you know, the Show with No Name is, well, a show where you'll get a little bit of everything. We do pronunciation stuff. We do jokes. We do double meanings. We get a little bit of history as well. That's what our spelling bee is about. It's about taking a few different words that are linked that tell a story. So here's your Double Trouble. Let's see if you can figure it out. Él estaba fumando en la escena del crimen. El puro encendido fue la prueba definitiva, lo que le delató. ¿Ok? La evidencia clara. A ver si lo dejo claro lo que es, ¿ok? Hey, we were talking about cigars before, right? Los puros, pues ahí tienes. So, él estaba fumando en la escena del crimen. El puro encendido fue la prueba definitiva, la evidencia que le dejó en evidencia. That's a little bit redundant, isn't it? All right, good luck, my amigos. That's your Double Trouble. Remember, you've got to use the same word twice in this translation. That's what makes it a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult than your average translation, que uno cualquiera. That's why we call it Double Trouble. All right. Also, let me give you the Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time. Let's see if anybody can get it word for word.
Whatever. I mean, like, we'll just hang out, you know, shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we jam a little bit.
You play an instrument?
Yeah. Can't believe I've never told you I play bass.
Seguro que eres súper friki de Harry Potter y no te has dado cuenta de la cantidad de palabras que has aprendido sin darte cuenta. Por ejemplo, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff viene de huff and puff, que es jadear, que estás agotado. Así que ya sabes por qué esta escuela se caracteriza por ser muy exigente y los alumnos van con la lengua fuera todo el día. They're huffing and puffing.
¿Y esa escuela que se llama Slytherin?
Slytherin, ¿de qué viene esa palabra?
To slither es lo que hace una serpiente.
Claro, por eso en esa escuela los alumnos son capaces de hablar con las serpientes. Y de hecho en el escudo viene una serpiente, tiene lógica. ¿Y qué me dices de Ravenclaw?
Esta tiene mucha chicha. It's very meaty.
Ravenclaw viene de Raven, que significa cuervo, y Claw, que significa garra. Es la garra del cuervo. Y si miras el escudo, ¿qué es lo que hay? Un cuervo con las garras agarrándose.
¿Quién habría dicho que podríamos aprender tantísimo viendo Harry Potter? Sabes muchísimas palabras gracias a Harry Potter, y no solo a Harry Potter, a películas, cómics, dibujos animados, videojuegos, todo incluido en This Book is the Shit, el tercer libro de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
No te lo pierdas, así se aprende.
This book really is the shit.
That's right, folks. This book is the shit. You can pick it up at our Vaughn Tienda. You can pick it up in person. You can also pick it up at Amazon, Casa del Libro, and wherever fine books are sold. Well, only if you want to learn English and have fun at the same time. All right, I see we've got a few people figuring out today's Double Trouble. Wow. English superstars. It's great to have you all participating and playing along. That's the key. I mean, what kind of class are you supposed to sit there passively? I understand you can't participate all the time, but whenever possible, do it. Do it for your English. All right, so él estaba fumando. He was smoking. Fijaos lo que he hecho. He was smoking. Es una zeta, zzz, y smoking una S, pero las unimos. He was smoking, no hay una pausa. He was smoking at the scene of the crime. Okay, la escena del crimen. He was smoking, vamos a ver si lo puedes unir así. Okay, he was smoking. No, la E no va ahí, ¿eh? Y esto es una forma de asegurarnos que no metemos esa E que suele meter. No, es uno de los errores de pronunciación más grandes que he visto, right? Habituales. He was smoking, extendemos ese y ahí no podemos meterla, es imposible si lo hacemos así. He was smoking at the scene of the crime. The lit cigar, so encendido. Remember, it's light, lit. Okay? He lit the candle, encendió la vela. So light, lit. The lit cigar was the smoking gun. That's right. The smoking gun is the evidence that gives you away. It reminds me of young Frankenstein, Jovencito Frankenstein, when they find the cigar. There was a lit cigar, and that was the smoking gun. Fíjate, esto viene de una película, Sin Querer. So there you go, folks. Smoking. Now, here's something. I think the British might call it a smoking jacket, un smoking, right? Esto es de vestir muy formal. Do you know what we call it in American English? A tuxedo. Tuxedo se escribe con X. Or you can call it simply a tux. I have to rent a tux. I have a formal event. Rent, alquilar, right? I don't know too many people who own a tux, right? Because you don't wear them very often. I mean, I guess it depends. If you're a diplomat or something like that, maybe you have to wear them pretty often. But we don't call it a smoking. Again, I think the British call it a smoking jacket, if I'm not mistaken. You can check that with Rob Grams, but we call it a tuxedo. Si no, si lo pongo en inglés británico, the lit cigar was the smoking gun. The lit cigar and the smoking jacket were the smoking guns. Hey, podría haber sido un triple trouble. All right, great job. Let's take a look at our spelling bee. Now, our spelling bee had to do with the Eurovision Song Contest. Eurovision, you call it. We call it Eurovision. And, well, it's because today in the year 1974, 1974, it took place, we say tomar lugar en vez de tener lugar. It took place in Brighton, in the United Kingdom. Así que ahí tienes vuestra primera palabra. Brighton, comma, United Kingdom. Okay? The second one is ABBA. Well, they were the winners. ABBA won the 1974 edition. Y ahí tenemos número 3, right? Como te he dicho, todos juntos cuentan una película. And this one is the 1974 edition. You say entrega, si no me equivoco. We say edition of the Eurovision Song Contest. Eso es número 4. And the song was Waterloo. Waterloo. Very good song. And it's the first of the many, many wins and participations from this Swedish singing group. And the last word was Swedish, right? Someone from Sweden is Swedish. And hey, I just thought of a little joke there. Well, you know the word loo, que lo vimos en homophones, right? El baño. What do you call a flooded bathroom in England? What do you call a flooded bathroom? Inundado. Waterloo, Waterloo. Okay, all right, hey. Bueno, si separas esas palabras es agua y baño en inglés británico. All right, so yes, I'm sure some of you who are listening, you've definitely tuned in to the Eurovision Song Contest. We watch it. I don't think we watch it every year, but sometimes what we do is we watch the highlights. It depends what time it's on, where it's located, but usually also it's pretty late. And while having a youngster, una jovenzuela, we're usually in bed. We're early. We're definitely early birds. That means we wake up early and we turn in early as well. And to turn in, del contexto, ¿qué significa? Eso es. To turn in is ir a la cama, ir a dormir. To turn in. We turn in quite early. We looked at turn into before, right? Que es convertirse en. Well, to turn in means to go to bed. Y piensa, mira, si hasta lo puedes en tu cabeza visualizar, ¿no? Okay, I'm going to turn in. Estás ahí, te das la vuelta y estás ahora mirando hacia adentro en la cama. Como ya, hasta luego, hasta mañana. To turn in. All right, so that's your spelling bee. Wonderful job, folks. We're going to move on, though. We love to learn English with movies in a section we call Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right. Welcome to Name That Movie, my amigos. Let's take a look and see what we've got. The great thing about this movie, we're not just going to learn from the movie, but we're also going to learn from the title. And this is awesome when you can learn from the title as well, like Padrino. How do we say Padrino? Not good father, Godfather. Entonces, madrina, godmother. Okay. Ahijado, godson. Ahijada, goddaughter. Mira, cuatro palabras. Thank you, Francis Ford Coppola. All right, let's see if you recognize this movie, and then we'll learn from the title, as I said, and we'll learn from the vocabulary therein. Shortly before an election, a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer join efforts to fabricate a war in order to cover up a presidential sex scandal. Hey, this sounds eerily familiar. Espeluznante como me suena esta situación. So, are you ready? I'll repeat it and we'll look at the vocabulary. Shortly before. Eso es justo antes. I'll see you shortly. I'll be there shortly. Es en un ratito, poco tiempo. All right. So, shortly before an election, a spin doctor. Now, a spin doctor is somebody who basically takes they take news or something, and what do? They try and twist it, right? Un asesor de publicidad, right? They'll take the story and spin it the way they want to, okay? It makes sense. It's also a group. If you want to call me baby, just go ahead now. If you want to buy me flowers, just go ahead now. If you... So spin doctor, I'm sure you've vocero, agente de prensa. Because when we talk about spin in this case, we're going to spin this story. Le vamos a dar nuestro toque. Okay, so that's where it comes from. So shortly before an election, a presidential election, a spin doctor and a Hollywood producer join efforts Otra forma de decir esta, que es un phrasal verb súper bueno. They team up. Hacer equipo, se juntan. They team up to fabricate a war. Fabricar, falsificar. In order to, con el fin de, cover up, tapar, cubrir, a presidential sex scandal. And yes, we've got some winners. The movie is Wag the Dog. This is a movie directed by Barry Levinson, famous director, the director of Rain Man. It also stars Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, the late Anne Heche as well. And it's a great movie. And sadly, it seems like it's based on real situations. And the title is called Wag the Dog. Now, I know you would say in Spanish, el perro se está moviendo la cola. We'd say he's wagging his tail. To wag, not to move. So it refers to basically drawing attention to something to take attention away from something else. Okay? To wag the dog. Okay? The original expression was the tail wagging the dog. Okay? But it's been shortened, and now everybody knows it as Wag the Dog, especially after this 1997 film. If you haven't seen it, it's great, but really, the title says, hey, look over here, don't look over there. Sound familiar? 2 words, Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, and what are we doing? We're going to war, as always. So don't look there, look here. They're wagging the dog. So yes, it creates a diversion, right? So that, they make you look in a different place. And usually it has to do with some military operation, just like in this movie. Let's take a look at the scene here. And Conrad says, whoever's leaking that stuff to that geek at the Post lets it slip. So whoever, el que está filtrando, leaking, WikiLeaks, whoever's leaking that stuff to that geek, ese friki, at the Post, he's talking about the newspaper, lets it slip, lo deja escapar, lo suelta, ¿no? Lo sopla. Geez, I hope this won't screw up the B3 program. To screw up, joder, right? The B3 program is a military arms program. What B3 program, and why should it screw it up? ¿Y por qué lo va a joder? Well, if the president decides to deploy the B3, again, it's a military weapon. I imagine it's a plane or a missile. Before it's fully tested, and he goes, deploy the B3 before it's fully tested? And he goes, yeah, but why? Why? The crisis. ¿Cuál es la crisis? And Winfred says, what crisis? And Conrad says, well, I'm working on that. Estoy trabajando en eso. No sé qué crisis, qué excusa voy a usar para usar estas bombas, estas armas. So, yeah, based on a true story, I think so. All right, folks, it's time to move on because we're going to celebrate some birthdays. All right, let's see if you guys know today's famous birthday boys and girls. The first person is the lead singer of the Pixies. Where is my mind? And so many other amazing songs. Yes, they call him Black Francis. I just gave you his name, but that's his stage name. In fact, if you told me his real name, I wouldn't know who he was. But he is, yes, he's changed his name a few times, his stage name, but it's always a variation of those words, Black Francis, Frank Black. But do you know his real name? The lead singer of the Pixies, classic band. And I remember listening to them when I was just a teenager. They were formed in 1986 in Boston, Massachusetts. Number 2, an American actor, director, and producer. And he basically won the Academy Award for Best Director for Rain Man. Hey, didn't I just say the director of Rain Man? Well, it's the same director as Wag the Dog or Good Morning Vietnam. Also, he did Diner in 1982 and The Natural. Oh, that's a beautiful movie. If you want to see a great movie, check out The Natural with Robert Redford, and I can't remember her. Well, an amazing cast. Amazing. Vaya reparto. I'm talking about The Natural. So this guy, yeah, he directed it, and he's directed other amazing movies, Academy Award-winning movies. Rain Man. Wag the Dog was not Academy Award-winning, but it's one of those movies that everybody said, wow, that is real. And it's obviously, when Robert De Niro is the president, it's not real, but they must have gotten the idea from real life. And last, but certainly not least, an American actor. He's been in so many movies, but everybody remembers his claim to fame, his first big appearance in Clueless. Clueless with Alicia Silverstone. Seguro que no es el mismo nombre. Pero Clueless is No Te Enteras. You're clueless. He was really good in that. He was in Romeo and Juliet, the 1996 one. He was in Anchorman, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and, well, he's also known as Ant-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, our birthday boys today. Number 1, Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV. ¿Qué? Yeah, Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV, also known as Black Francis or Frank Black, the singer of the Pixies. Number 2, Barry Levinson, an amazing director and screenwriter. And last but not least is Paul Rudd. That's right. And that's going to bring us to our Say What soundbite. This is Paul Rudd in the movie Clueless. And this is where he got his start. So a very young Paul Rudd. And what he says in this audio clip is, whatever. I mean, like, we'll just hang out, Dice, bueno, lo que sea, pues quedaremos, estar de tranquis. To hang out es quedar de tranquis, estar, pasar un rato juntos. Then he says, shoot the shit. You say estar de palique. Si no queremos usar la palabra vulgar shit, puedes decir to shoot the breeze, estar de palique. Sometimes we jam a little bit. A veces hacemos jam session, Improvisamos con instrumentos. And then he says, you play an instrument? And she says, and he says, yeah, I can't believe I've never told you. I play bass. And bass es el bajo. Ojo, que si lo dices bass, que también se puede decir, estás hablando de lubina. So be careful with that one. It's one of those words like wind and wind, tear and tear. Here he is, birthday boy, Paul Rudd.